Welcome to another edition of the Empower Hour. I am AlQamar.
And I'm Hanifah.
And we're coming back to you as we always do every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time. Today's topic is hot topics. So as you see, there is no guests here with us this week. It's just Hanifah and I. And we're going to be digging into some of the hot topics in the news, some things that's been going on. What you guys been mullering about, what you've been hearing about, what's on the tongues of everybody out there. And if you have a hot topic that you want us to talk about, shoot it out there. Shoot it out there and let us know what's on your mind so we can get you on air. Hanifah.
Oh, come on.
How you feeling?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm alive. How are you?
So am I. It's always, what do say,
Right.
above ground. Whenever you're
Exactly.
above ground, it's always a good day.
Hot days. The days
Yeah.
have been extremely hot and humid,
Yeah.
but I can't complain because when it was cold,
I
we
love
were
this weather.
complaining. Yeah,
I'll take the hot over the cold any day.
the humidity. I need some spring.
Really? You? But being from the islands?
A little bit of. I need some breeze, some cool breeze blowing in. Yeah.
I see.
Because that's the thing, an island is surrounded by water, so you
Yeah.
cannot get that sea breeze.
Yeah.
Here it's just like everything is still.
And humidity and sticky.
And now we had some good days though, where it was hot, but it wasn't like unbearable.
Sticky hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I can't really complain. June was just funny because June was hot but just rainy and nasty.
Yeah.
And then when July came in, we've had some decent days. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. And we're over here in Capitol Heights, Maryland. That's where we air from here at the eLife Studios for all of those who are watching us from out of town. Hot topics.
Oh boy.
How you want to do this? We
I
want
have
to do
not
back
been-
and forth. We want to bounce it. You want to go first?
Not really. So I haven't really been in tune lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out of town myself.
Yeah?
Last like 4 days. I just got back Sunday.
You were sailing?
Huh?
So you were sailing? Were you sailing?
No,
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
sailing. We went cruising on the boat.
Cruising.
Yeah, we went to this
Okay.
little island somewhere out
Oh.
in Virginia.
For 4 days?
Yeah, girl, I was pulling my hair out too. Like, please.
I would think it would be fun. You were ready to come back?
I was ready to do something. It was just like
Quiet.
nothing
Ooh,
to
you
do.
probably was missing social media.
Girl,
You're
I
so
was pulling my
addicted.
hair. I am. That is.
You
my
were going through
addiction.
withdrawals out there. That's what happened.
So anyway,
Yeah.
hot topics in the news. You know what I did? I took the liberty of focusing on topics that aren't so gloom and doom. You know, it's like it's so much of that. Now, you know,
That's a good
there's a
approach.
lot of challenging things going on
Yeah.
in the world, no doubt. I'm not denying that. But there's a lot of positive, uplifting things too. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in just the gloom and doom, and forget that there's some things, you know, there's some forward-thinking things going on in the world.
I think sometimes the gloom and doom is kind of was pushed to,
Yeah,
given to us, pretty much.
yeah,
When
absolutely.
you click, those are the things that come up first. If you're watching news on television, that's what you're seeing pushed before you all the time. So, you know, even to find the good news, you got to go look.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
Which
doubt.
is interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Makes you question the purpose of the news. Is it really to inform or to instill fear?
that's right.
Yeah.
Good points. Good points. What you have? What you want me to?
You could start.
Okay, so let's start with and some of these things are not really technically
News.
breaking news stories.
I have
but-
some in mind that's not, well, they're news, but they're not like national news, probably.
Yeah.
You're right.
So let's start with Akon. Did you guys hear about the Akon creating his own Bitcoin called Akon? Yeah. So he was given 2,000 acres of land
Where?
in Senegal
Okay.
by the Senegalese president.
That's
I
where
think.
he's from. Okay.
Yes,
Mhm.
he's from Senegal, and the president granted him 2,000 acres.
Oh, that's good.
Right,
Mhm.
and so he decided to create this city of that all they use is cryptocurrency within the city. So he's going to
Really?
take this acreage and build up businesses and homes and da da da. and the entire currency within this city is going to be straight cryptocurrency. That's it. He said his goal was to give the power back to the people. He said his goal was to, allow the people to be able to, move and shake and do commerce and all that without the aid of the government and, all the other powers that be in the world. That, so I thought that was interesting. So he said he's not behind. He just comes up with the ideas and he gives it to the tech brainiacs to execute them. But I thought that's interesting.
Good, though.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he had to have their thumbs up and approval to even push forward with it.
I know before he had did like a big project, like I think it was a solar project.
Yeah.
He had done something like that before.
Right.
Yeah.
He got all that money alone though from the Chinese government, from the Chinese people. It was like $1 billion loan or something, and he had electricity. Took electricity to all of the a lot of the rural areas.
Yeah.
And so I shout out, kudos to
Akon. Yeah, he's doing good things, giving back.
Right.
To his place of birth, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't see a lot of that.
Exactly.
You don't see, and then if you do see, it's like in small contributions. A scholarship maybe, but not
hands
in this
on.
not in this capacity. I don't think so. And then sometimes there are people doing things in quiet, and we just don't know about it.
True.
Until,
like Prince.
Yeah.
He was a perfect candidate for doing things in quiet. When I found out when he died and all these people started coming forth that was saying he helped them and he supported them, took care of them and helped them, I was like, good God. I mean, it was a laundry list of people who Prince was supporting financially, but the only requirement was he didn't want them to say nothing. Don't tell nobody that I'm helping you.
Yeah,
and I thought that was fascinating.
We live in a day and age too. It's not just celebrities, just across the board where if it's not on social media, then you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And so people get caught up. It's true, people get caught up in that, and it's almost like people have to prove their value, their worthiness, their contribution to the world by posting just about everything about themselves.
Good point.
I built this, I just bought this house. But there are people out there who are not even on we just had 2 of them in here who you can't even contact them by phone.
That's right.
But they're out there touching lives.
That's right.
Through their music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And making an impact, but not necessarily looking for any accolades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
True.
we live in a time where that's becoming more and more the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to hide the truth of the matter behind that social media screen too, because you could say all kind of stuff.
I think sometimes too, we're losing the person-to-person connections. We're not getting out as much as we should and connecting with people. That can create that. And
a sense of coldness too, of harshness.
Yeah.
Too comes along with that.
Yeah.
Because
because the connections are now becoming likes and comments. And I find it subscribers or followers, Yeah.
And I find it so easy to disrespect or be rude to people you disagree with online versus if they write in your face.
I'm on YouTube all
and you
the
having
time.
a conversation with them. Half the stuff I be reading.
The comments.
They wouldn't dare say.
But some people are trolling too. They create these accounts just to do these things. And sometimes I'm on YouTube, like you were saying, like something like this. You were hit with Akon.
Yeah.
Someone might comment on the video and, oh, he's just doing this for blah, and not even seeing the good and the lives that is going to change. It's always somebody being a pessimist somewhere.
Yeah.
But they're really cruel online.
Yeah.
Like extremely cruel.
Yeah.
And we could get into my other topic on that, because that's kind of what it's about.
Okay.
But one of the topics that I think I had talked to you briefly about this, and they are the twin girls, the McClure twins.
Oh, yeah.
Most people know them from seeing them online, right? They're the two little twin girls, biracial twin girls, and their family's like under fire right now because initially it started off with just them. They have 1 million subscribers right now, the little girls. And it started off with just them, and the dad was behind the camera. Mom would kind of come in here and there.
So the dad is white and the mom is black?
Yes, the mom is Nigerian and the dad is from Georgia, from the south. So when they started off, it was just the twins. It was all about them. And then mom and dad decided to branch off and make their own YouTube channel because people had questions. And the way their videos were set up, it was always either they were vlogging, the twins doing something, or the twins, they started off with the twins just sitting together and them asking them questions. So you would often hear mom behind the camera asking the questions, or dad. So then they branched off. And once they branched off, they still had the twins channel, and now they had theirs. Like again, people were inquiring, and they didn't want to use the twins channel to address, And so, this is the price of being a public figure, okay? Because people get all up in your business. And so I think I was mentioning to you that they decided to do a video on, the title was I'm African, not African American. And it was not a long video. So it was mainly Ami is the mother's name. Ami spoke, and he had his piece too, coming from the deep south, right? The video, I was just like, do they not have a team of people to like tell them what they may not want to do or what they may not want to talk about? It just was not a good idea. And I think that video, especially a lot of African Americans commented on it, because she was really trying to distance herself from African American culture. She used words like, I just come from a culture where, we have manners. And so a lot of people took offense. And these media, these internet streets, okay, they got some serious PI skills.
Yes, they do.
And I think that they were offended, and I think that video is what kind of caused all of this.
Oh, interesting.
So they went and they dug up some things.
Twitter again.
Twitter.
I mean, that Twitter be getting folks caught up.
They dug up some past tweets from the husband. Very racist.
Wow.
Tweets.
Here's this man has a black, white, and biracial children, and talking bad about black people on Twitter.
Yes, and he had already met her. So
wow.
Yeah. So now people start to attack her and call her a bed wench and all these other things, right? Which, like you said, are cruel.
Right.
Which created another thing. It then forced them to talk about. It caused her to have to explain that she wasn't with him around that time. However, her kids were already born. Wow. Which then led over to another thing that they weren't ready to reveal, which is he is not the kid's biological father.
Oh, wow.
It's so messy.
Wow.
It's so messy. Wow. Yeah. And so they've been on and on. Like, first he apologized.
So they were attempting to excuse his behavior?
She actually made that, which I thought was probably a little misinformed on her part. She said, were the comments tasteless? Yes. Is he racist?
What kind of things was he saying? You remember?
Yes. He said black people can't say the word. He's supposed to be a comedian back then. Okay, I don't know why he thought he was funny, but black people can't say the word ask, but they can say escalate and something else. It was really dumb. Then he made a comment about third world women. He'd do them a favor by having sex with them. Yet she's Nigerian. Yes. And then he went on to talk about black men, and how, black men just be catcalling women and they have time to do all of that. In other words, implying because they don't really have anything, any serious employment, whereby white men, they don't have time because they be thinking about spreadsheets.
So what is your thoughts? Wow. What are your thoughts on people like, there's a lot of people like that out here.
Like what?
That will marry somebody of opposite race, but have all these underlying thoughts and feelings about that's negative.
Do you see what I was telling you? That's the part I was trying to explain, where she said, were they tasteless? Yes. Is he a racist? I mean, come on. as if to say, come on, he married me. Because then now the girls, and then they just had a son together. So the boy is between the two of them.
Right.
But apparently she had a previous marriage
Right.
to another white guy.
Yeah.
And that's how the twins came about.
Yeah.
And she said she left because it was an abusive relationship and he hasn't been there for the kids. And so Justin, who is the current husband, adopted the kids, which would mean that the previous husband's rights had to be terminated in order
Right.
for somebody else to adopt his kids.
Right.
So that part of it, I just didn't feel like it was necessary for her to even go there. But they just kept digging. I'm like, just
But I
stop
guess
making
she had to explain
just because those dollars.
Mm.
And they have a lot of sponsorship too.
Interesting. Ah.
You know, and I'm just like, stop making videos. Just stop.
Mm.
But it's
When
like
you
they
depending
couldn't
on
stop.
it.
They made 3 videos after it came out. One with him not even apologizing, just saying, oh, I was insecure and an alcoholic then. And then the second one with her sitting and addressing him to show that she didn't know about the tweets.
Yeah.
And then the third one was her pretty much having to come out and say he adopted the girls.
Didn't you tell me he said something like, "I'm not answering no more questions. My
Yes.
wife will."
Yes, he did.
So he kind of pushed all
Of
it
that
on
on her, pretty much.
for her to
And
deal with.
And then this internet is not playing with them. What do I think about people that do that? My theory is no different from someone who is struggling with their sexuality. And it's like they're trying to prove to themselves and everybody else that this is not who I am. I'm not gay. And so they marry, they have kids, and I don't see it any differently. I think people who are like that, I think it's something within themselves that they don't like about themselves, which is being racist. And I think it's an attempt to correct it, if I may.
Interesting.
That's how I see it. I mean, some people may have, different opinions, but
Yeah.
when she said that he's not racist, she was pretty much saying because he's married to me, and they went in on her as far as history.
Yeah.
Just explain to her, like, there's a ton of white plantation owners who we were supposed to be less than and animals and disgusting, but they was going on top of our women all the time,
Points.
Yeah, so they brought that up to her. It's just kind of been a messy situation, which then created a lot of conversation around exactly what you're talking about, where people could be racist, and then also it created this distinction that we tend to make. Is there a difference in culture? Yes, between Africa and African Americans, absolutely,
No doubt.
absolutely. I'm not going to
There's
deny
a lot of
that.
people on the land, the Africans, they call us
Akata.
white people. What is it, Akata?
Mm-hmm.
Called white people.
Mm-hmm.
Because the culture is so
Yeah.
significantly different.
Yeah, because I know when I went to Uganda, and I don't consider myself, I'm not even near your complexion.
Right.
And I think I told you the story about the little girl.
Well, actually, you are, honey. But
Stop
that's a
this,
whole
stop
nother
this. We're not
point.
even going to get into this right now. And we already talking about, we're going to talk about colorism. We're not doing this today, AlQamar.
So go ahead.
So I was coming down through the village, and this little baby saw me and ran to the parent crying. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, Bazungu, Bazungu. That's funny.
Ah, the white woman is coming. She's going to take everything.
Stop it.
That's funny.
So of course I know some of the language. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at my ex-husband like, Muzungu. Now I'm the lightest among them.
Yeah.
Because my ex-husband and his family, they're really dark.
Right.
I'm like, who's the Muzungu here? And he's cracking up laughing.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is not funny,
And the little girl was actually scared?
She was scared.
Interesting.
She was scared because you got to remember, too, in some of those rural areas, they don't have television and, yeah, so they don't have.
It's rare that they see you. They probably hear all the stories. So there you go. Oh,
So yeah, so right, in some of those countries we are called, but I thought that it just brought up another conversation too, to where 'cause people were accusing her and saying that maybe she has no issue with it because she felt like who he was talking about were those other people, African American women. That's who he's discussing.
So she didn't seem connected
she's
to what
different,
he was saying.
and possibly saying that it's a possibility that he can actually so comfortably do that because he don't see her as one of those women either.
Yeah.
You know, that was so much.
Yeah.
So it created a conversation, and I
well,
thought,
they say as much a lot in
Yeah.
those elite circles and stuff. And they
Yeah.
be like, well, you're not like them. You know?
and
So
that has been said to me.
Yeah,
As a Caribbean
to
woman,
certain type of black
that has
people.
been said to me, where it's like, because it has been in situations where I have had to stand up and I don't even want to say defend, but protect my African American brothers and sisters from whatever verbal attacks was happening at that time. And it's like, well, you're different. Exactly. And I'm like, not really. You know what I mean? But that's also, again,
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I have a good family friend who has been married to a black dude, been married to a white woman for years. They've been married for about 20 years or so. And I had asked him one time, because we always have heart-to-hearts, we're really close. And I asked him one time, I said, when your wife get mad at you, does she ever call you in? He was like, do she?
Oh,
like, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure that happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we have this, this
Yeah,
dissonance.
Did you see the video? That one, it reminded me of that one video of, it was a young girl and she taped him. This was wrong. I don't know if Trump was elected yet, but there was a discussion. I think Trump was running. He wasn't elected, and she taped her fiance.
Oh, I remember that.
3 years she had been with this man.
Yeah.
And the stuff that he was spewing, I was like, 3 years, sis? You ain't got no red flags, like nothing?
Right.
So after that video, and it went viral, she left.
Yeah.
But she had already been there for 3 years already.
Yeah, that's
how?
he felt.
That is how he felt.
Really
He even went as far back and said, you don't like it, go back to Africa.
I don't know how these people do it. I don't know how they blend cultures like that and have the children, and for me they get confused and they don't, especially these days. There's lines getting drawn thicker and thicker in the sand.
Oh.
And if you on both sides, you got 2 feet on both sides of the line. It's a lot, but we're gonna dig into that next week with Jeannie.
Okay.
Jeannie's coming on the program next week, and we're gonna talk more about that.
The whitewashing.
Yeah. What does it really mean to make America great again? What does that really mean?
Is your tablet turned all the way up? Because we have someone say it's hard to hear.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm sorry.
He's just talking into the microphone. But yeah, that was just going into, being a public figure. Like, you are putting yourself out there for scrutiny. And I think people need to understand that. And the way that the internet is now, they will just go and pull up whatever they want about.
Going back decades.
And then one last thing too, you remember the what was his name, Stephon Clark? You remember the guy who died, and then they pulled up his videos with his.
Yes.
Okay, so that was for the McClure twins, for Justin McClure.
Yeah.
Black women were coming to his rescue. It was interesting, and so a lot of the other black women were coming in, and men were saying, Stephon Clark couldn't even get you guys forgiveness. But here's this man living and have spewed these things and is yet to apologize, but you guys already caping for him, It was a very interesting, I've kind of been following this story, and I'm just like, ugh.
We have a lot of dissonance in that way. I think a lot of that goes back to the strong desperation for a lot of us to be accepted into that world. We really are desperate to be accepted
I get it.
by white people.
It's quote unquote the dominant society.
Yeah.
And
so no matter what they do to you, you will forgive because you are just that desperate to be a part of that world. That's the way I see it. I'm like, but anyway, let's go on to another subject matter. I want to talk about AME Church. What? The AME Church bishops are teaming up to support 19 black-owned banks.
AME?
Yeah, so they actually, Bishop Reginald Jackson, he announced it's a new partnership at a board meeting in Atlanta last month.
Okay.
And actually, this idea came out of a meeting that they had here in D.C. for all the AME bishops. Because I didn't know the AME Church, they had over 6,000 AME churches in the U.S. alone. I was like,
I feel like it was Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more than that, but okay.
Yeah.
They're
It's
everywhere.
over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so what they decided to do, they have an organization of bishops of the AME, and they decided to come together and take the tithes money from the churches and dump them into all these black-owned banks. So they have chosen 19 black-owned banks to support. I thought that was big. That's big news. And so they were saying that this will help grow black businesses. It will help home ownership, increase the home ownership in our communities. He says, now as a people, we are turning our efforts toward our own enrichment. We must now create those economic opportunities for ourselves.
The AME churches, when it comes to, like, I would say for most of the denominations that I know, when it comes to black issues, they're probably the denomination that tends to
the premier ones.
Yeah, which one isn't he though? Isn't the AME church the church that you remember when Obama was running?
Yeah.
His pastor?
Jeremiah Wright?
Yeah, isn't he from the AME church?
So I think was he Doc?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and so so they're looking to not only they're starting here in the U.S., but they're looking to expand that even outside of the U.S. and to create more AME because they have over 4,000 AME churches abroad.
How many banks? Are they
19 here?
19 here.
But they're looking
in Georgia.
to expand once
International.
they get internationally. So yeah, and I think this is huge news for us as a community and getting closer together and spending our money more wisely. So the African Union Ambassador, Dr. Arakana Quo, I think I'm saying that right. She said, I'm already encouraging all black people when I do presentations to say we've been stupid for too long. We drive past black banks to give our money to people who don't give a hoot about us. And they take our money and get rich with it. Not only here, but in Africa. We've got to change this. So she was excited about that too. So I thought that was some good news.
I was watching this YouTube video before I came here. There's this guy that I follow on YouTube. Well, it's a wife and a husband and wife packed their family up, moved to Ghana, called Native Born, and the wife came back to America recently because they've kind of been low on money.
Yeah.
And so the husband did an interview with a guy, a Rastafarian guy that lives in Ghana, and the guy is actually he's born in Trinidad, but he's from St. Croix. Virgin Islands, and it was a very interesting interview that they had. Now I've seen the videos of him before, like they've taken us on his land, and he has so much like fruits and vegetables growing. I think they were there from 2005, but even just doing that, what they're doing is because they've moved to Ghana, just informing people who may be interested.
Yeah.
You know, and that's good information to have.
No doubt.
And so the brother was able to explain what are some of the things that you might want to do before moving.
Okay.
No. Is he a Yeshua? Oh, I don't think so. But he was talking of he was giving information as far as saving and how much a plot was when he was there and how much a plot is now. But he also gave the side where people would.
So the plots are getting more expensive?
Yes,
I would imagine.
right. But also what's happening too, which I kind of knew, they've been there 13 years. And what can happen is one family member could sell you the land, and then another family member pops up and says they didn't have the right to sell you this land.
Oh, wow.
Because it's family land. So 13 years later, someone just recently came with something along those lines. And he's like, well, you've been for 13 years, though.
Right.
Like, we've been here,
Right.
you know? So he's like, it depends if it makes sense what they're saying.
Yeah.
Then yes, but he was giving African Americans or people in the diaspora, period, who were interested in moving, he was giving good information.
Oh, okay.
And he was talking about banking and just making sure like you save,
Yeah.
you know, and then before you move, because people just think they could just pack up and move.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you're talking about like the black banks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out like the connection between what are they talking about when they say it would help with home ownership?
Because now the banks have a larger pool of money to draw from to be
people
able
to
to
borrow
support,
Okay.
support, those who want to open up their own business, those who need a loan for home, you know what I'm saying? Those who, things like that in the community. Now the challenge I find, and they talked about this in one of the articles that I read, is that the banks have to get more innovative with the techniques they use.
Right.
Because we are a unique set of people here in this land. And so, you know what I'm saying? So the things that may come a little easier for the privileged it may be a challenge for a lot of us. And so you come and somebody needs to borrow some money or whatever. They may be brilliant, genius in business, but don't have all
and
the
that happens.
technicalities that come along with opening their own business.
The resources, yeah.
Right. And so what do? Sorry, you don't, here's the list of 10 things that you need and you don't have them, you have 5, so sorry, we can't help you. Knowing that, you know what I'm saying, if they just had a little extra assistance, then they can get the job done. So that's, for me, is what I see as going to be the bank's greatest challenge.
Do you
trying
think
to stay
that
within the guidelines of the European guidelines of banking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we're able to, like how you just explained the community with Akon that he created, sort of like Black Wall Street?
Yeah.
Are we able to do that again? Do you think so? What do you think?
That's a good concept. Using the standard black banks as it is, I don't know. I think that we just going to have a whole different mindset of how we go about doing things, because we're intertwined in this system to the point where we're not controlling any of the major facets of it.
Do you know like how if you watch like old historic movies of slavery, when someone is being punished, you see all the kids out there, the adults, like everyone is watching.
Right.
And I think from my observation, the fear that, because you hear black people say that they're not going to let us.
Right.
Because, but I think it's because they've seen what could be done. There has been like, people have been used as, take this as a demonstration of what, and that stays with people, even just internationally, even countries.
Yeah.
That this has happened to, where it's like, if you try to go your own way, this is the result of that. And I think that has kind of been stamped in our psyche as black people.
Yeah.
And I part of it, because you will always have people who will be on the opposite. No, we can't do that. This is what's going to happen if we do that.
Good
you know
point.
What I mean? Like keeping us in line.
That's why I believe that we will have to get creative. We will have to get creative in how we go about doing things moving forward. Because if we try to continue in the confines of the system and continue to do the same things everybody else has done that's been proven, shot down over and over again, then we can expect the same thing.
I'm starting to question whether it's a possibility in this society. Honestly, I'm starting to really question that. I'm starting to wonder, is it just maybe for us to move out of this and then create it somewhere else?
That's an excellent point.
Because the way that this
society,
because they pretty much own just about everything.
Yeah.
And just like that documentary that we watched, the one with the Indian lady.
Yeah.
They will flip their own laws.
Oh yeah, that's the point. It's like we keep going into their court system looking for justice, but whenever if a law passed, that's been done over and over again too in the past. As soon as the laws pass, like the 40-acre and the mule law. A lot of people don't realize that was actually a law that I think Grant, I could be wrong, Grant passed back in the day, giving ex-slaves 40 acres and a mule.
They changed that.
And the moment that he was out of office and the new president took over, he snatched that right back.
This is what we see now.
He snatched it. With Trump. He
Yeah,
snatched
but
that right back.
with all presidents,
Yeah.
where you get excited about something and then somebody comes in and just changes it. That's
right
politics,
back.
right?
And when
So
you
that's what I'm
control
saying.
the laws, you're the one who write all the rules and write all the laws. You can make them be whatever you want it
It's
to
a
be.
bit discouraging. So when I see people's reaction of fear, it's not that I'm okay with it, but I understand.
where
You
it
know,
stems from.
yeah.
That's why I think we got to get out of the box of thinking of how we've always thought, though.
But you know what? Think about it. The way that we think in this society, we think that way. It's a part of our survival.
Mm-hmm.
I think if, you were just saying that you was trying to get back home when you went on your little trip.
Yeah.
I think if you were to go, let's say, away from America
Mm-hmm.
for even a month,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're not on the internet all the time, all of those things, your mind begins to change.
Right.
Like, don't even ever underestimate that.
That's good.
So I think the first step, because the changes that we're talking about has to happen psychologically first, mentally.
That's right.
And I think that oftentimes we don't live in a safe space for that to begin to happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes even when that process starts,
Yeah.
something happens.
Not to mention that your own thoughts are being controlled.
Yeah.
So you don't even have the
Right.
freedom to even think in the frame of mind
Yeah.
that you really need to
Yeah.
come up with some creative ideas, because every facet of your existence is being controlled and manipulated.
I'm starting to question whether it's even a possibility here. Just this society. Anyway, yeah.
Speaking of how they manipulate anything that we attempt to do for ourselves, going into Ice Cube.
Mhm.
Ice Cube created a Big Three basketball league. This is the second year running. And what he does is he's taking ex-basketball players
Okay.
and older players and people that are not in the league no
Okay.
more, and he created this Big Three league. So
Okay.
some of them are coaches, some
Okay.
of them play in the league.
Mhm.
So it's just, so people come out,
Okay.
they buy tickets, they rah-rah, they got promotions and all that involved. So it took off. Last year was the first year, it was a huge success or what have you. Well, Ice Cube and his partner, which I was trying to get some information but ran out of time on his partner, took out a full page ad in the New York Times to Donald Trump, talking about the Qatari group. This is a group, I think they're Middle Eastern,
Okay.
a group of investors that actually invested in Ice Cube's Big Three basketball league. They withheld their monies, so deliberately, in an attempt to crash the whole thing,
Why?
because
is it
they're
hurting?
involved in not the NFL, the basketball league. So they're an investment group, and I'm assuming they invest heavily in the basketball
Sports,
league, sports or what have you.
Mhm.
So they kind of was like, oh yeah, we'll go ahead and invest in billions in what you're trying to do or whatever. They took out a loan with them or whatever. But when it was time for them to pay up on the loan, they didn't. And so they said, so basically they were attempting to sabotage the league,
Oh.
the league, so he wouldn't be successful.
And so that's what I'm saying, because these are the banks you're borrowing from.
Speaking of,
That's what I'm saying. It's
speaking
yeah.
of, and so this Qatari group was meeting with Donald Trump in the White House last month. So the big business folk. And so I guess Ice Cube's idea, I don't know, but I'm assuming that their mission was to get the word out, to spread the word to the public and let people know what's really going on. So they took out this full page ad in the New York Times saying, hey, Trump, while you're meeting with Qatari, let them know to leave us alone, or hands off the Big Three league, or something to that effect. So it's a messy thing, but it's a point. I'm like, why do you even have to go to other people to get money to invest? Why can't your people, with all these money flowing through our fingers, why don't we have the wherewithal and the mind state to say, hey, let's help this brother get this league off the ground, because that'll in turn help us all in one way, shape, or form. But again, as you were saying, the way we think, we don't even think independently like that, a lot of us.
We have a very dependent way, as it's been set up to be.
Yes.
as it's been set up to be. Very
Yes.
dependent way of thinking and way of maneuvering
Yeah.
this society. Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's deep.
It is. It is. We have
What's
to
our
do
time
this the
looking
thing. We have to do
Oh my
ads.
goodness.
Mhm.
That's a lot of time in the past. Okay, we are here at the eLife Studios. Hanifah and I, this is Hot Topics in the News. We're just talking about some things that's mulling around in the news. Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant and Lounge is located at 9185 Central Avenue, and that's in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Come on out if you want to enjoy some great tasting, good for you, wholesome, vegan style food. So it's a full-fledged restaurant, so much more. There's a lounge here, and so in the lounge area, we do different activities on a weekly and monthly basis. One of them being Children's Night. Each and every Thursday, children eat free from 6 to 8 p.m. So if you have a little one, 12 and under, bring them on out. They eat free as long as they're accompanied by an adult, a paying adult. But as well as eating free, they come and they join other young folks right here in the lounge area, and it becomes a big playroom. So they have a really good time. That's free every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. So bring the children out. Following that up is every Friday is our dinner and a movie night. So we have a big movie screen. We take the lounge area, we dim the lights, turn the music off, we get the documentary or movie going, and it becomes a theater. And then afterwards, we discuss. Goes right into a discussion part. Fascinating information. So it's always some interesting people in the room that have some interesting insight. So come on, join us for that. That's dinner and a movie. That is free. That goes on every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Black Wall Street Renaissance. That is our event I host every first Saturday of the month. Each and every month like clockwork. First Saturday, think of us here at Everlasting Life from 12 to 6 p.m. We bring in different vendors, different small business owners, and then we fill it up and you come shop. Shop till you drop. Not only that, we open a stage to different people, some people who, like performances or what am I trying to say? All kind of stuff. Public speaking. And if you are interested in gracing the stage at one of our Black Wall Street Renaissance, give us a call here at Everlasting Life because we're looking for talent, some fresh talent. So yeah, again, that's 12 to 6 p.m. every first Saturday of the month. Marketplace, every third Saturday of the month, we open the doors to another marketplace that specializes in fresh produce and organic herbs and spices, vegan groceries, things of that nature, all natural products. That takes place every third Saturday from 11 to 4 p.m. So come on out and join us for that. And if you're interested in joining us as a vendor, reach out to us for one of these marketplaces as well. We would love to host you. eLife Studios, as you see, Hanifah and I are in the beautiful eLife Studios right here inside of the lounge area of Everlasting Life. I tell you, it's a lot going on here. If you're interested in hosting your own show, or you want to get some information out there, give us a call here at eLife Studios. We do have a special broadcasting special going on right now, $25 an hour. It's unbeatable. Do your research, look around. You'll never find another price anywhere up and down the East Coast that can beat this price. So come on out and join us for that. All right, back into we was really doing a whole lot of talking.
Yeah. I had some. It was just rape culture. First we had the Bill Cosby, then Russell Simmons, the Me Too movement, and so recently they had one of the guys, Charlemagne the God, from the Breakfast Club, was accused of rape when he was 20, maybe 22.
Really?
Yeah, the girl was 15.
Ooh.
And there were some allegations, and he actually pleaded guilty. I think he got like 3 years probation.
Interesting.
But now she's bringing it back up and
Mm.
says she wants to file criminal charges because
Did she do that?
apparently so. Apparently so. She said during that time the mom told her to kind of fall back. Like she made the allegation, but she really didn't go full force because of her mom, and she's pretty much claiming that she didn't really have full closure. There's a lot of people who feels like this is about a come up for her. I just always find it interesting how we approach rape. Oftentimes it's like, especially if the person is celebrity, the victim is guilty immediately. Like, no, they just want money, and so that's what I wanted to talk. Like, do you think in these cases money is is a factor?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm talking about
in certain instances. I'm sure.
Even if it's true.
Yeah, I mean, you do have some
There are
women
people
out
with-
there who, they'll take advantage, just find an opportunity, and use it.
Yeah, because I guess I'm saying, like, even if someone have dealt with that and they had to endure it, and maybe they've taken a while to come out, and it just happened to be around a time that the person is like maybe at the height of their career, and so it looks like funny, that why now?
Sudden,
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you want to say something.
Yeah, I'm just
20 years later.
Yeah, I'm just, and I've listened to his side of the story, and then also they say the DNA test proved that it wasn't his DNA. His story was that he wasn't even there in the house. He left her there with his friends, like she was there, and then he found out that she was making some allegations of rape, and he was trying to find out who had sex with her from the friends, and they were all like, nobody did, and it just ended up, he said he went down to the station, and because they told him, well, his cousin was arrested, but his friends were playing a prank on him. So he went down there and he started disclosing information that wasn't even necessary, like, you're underage, how did you get drinks? And he's like, oh, I got a crackhead to get it for me, and he said like 2 months maybe, or 2 weeks after that, then he got charged with rape. And he was like, I think it's because I was the one that went down there, they didn't have anyone to put it on. So a lot of people are, of course, on different sides of it,
Right.
and a lot of people are coming for the victim. And I just thought about it, because this isn't the first time this has happened.
Right.
I think sometimes I try to be careful. Like, I wait until all the information is out,
Right.
because you can really get,
Right.
especially if you're a fan.
If you want to take a sides anyway.
Yeah, because we saw that with Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
because we just, I'm like, this is not the same person in the Cosby Show.
Your dad.
That is, yeah, that's not your papa.
Everybody's-
Right, like, that is not your papa. Like, right, like, sorry, right, why?
But the emotionalism. I think emotionalism, because Baba was talking about that the other day here at the restaurant. How he said we were operating on the two lower chakras, sex and
the
emotion.
root chakra.
The root chakra and sex and emotion chakra, and it go back and forth from there. I
So
really
we
think
don't
a
get
lot of us
above, we
do.
don't get above the heart.
We don't take time and to logically assess the whole situation and then come to a conclusion based on information. We go by what we feel. Oh, I don't think he did that. I don't think, I don't think she wrong. So, we don't logically and analytically think about the whole scenario.
Yeah, and that's such a touchy topic for me to put, like, for me in my mind, that's so touchy to play around with and to carelessly discuss it, like, especially if you weren't there.
Right.
It's so touchy, and the way that we handle those cases, we're so careless with it.
Yeah.
And these celebrities, I think that we need to get, especially those of us that watch reality TV, we get caught up in these characters, and we act like we know them personally,
Yeah.
like in real life, like
Yeah.
like we're having dinner and we're going to church with these people. Like,
Right.
no,
Right.
some of you don't even know your
Who
own.
get paid to act
Right.
for a
And,
living.
right, and so you're defending them based on who you think they are. Right? And so I'm just, the whole
Yeah.
idea, even the way that we approach rape in our community is just, it's warped to me.
Yeah.
It really, really is. Whether it's true or not, you should not attack anyone until all the information
That's my
comes out.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Until
we
all the
don't wait.
information come back.
How
Yeah.
many of us really wait to get all the facts? That don't happen. We take a side immediately without even knowing all the
Because most of the times, if
details.
it's a celebrity, it's usually the other person. We see them as like this little peon in comparison to this celebrity.
Right.
So it's like David and Goliath,
Right.
and we're rooting for Goliath because Goliath is bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this person, David, is this little unknown little person. Like, who are you anyway?
Right.
Or you just want him because he's big. You know, like you're attacking him because he's big. Like, he just blew up. So you're trying to get some of that money. And I'm like, how can you say that?
Yeah.
And then also, too, we have this time frame of when people should discuss their victimization.
Because, I was thinking when you asked the question about do people really, why do they wait so long?
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm just, kind of thinking off the side of my head. Maybe because they see them so much on the big screen and they see so much of them that the reminding thing comes.
Probably triggering that.
Yeah.
Those emotions.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That could be.
For all those times now, Charlemagne has been really, he hasn't really been in the public sphere like that until recently.
Mm-hmm.
When they took on, what I'm saying? He's been out there for a while,
but
to be as publicly known as he is today. So maybe every time she heard his name or she seen his face across the screen or somebody mentioned him, all that stuff triggered in her.
Yeah, and her mom said she was the reason why she didn't follow through with the case.
Yeah.
And the mom is saying that she thinks closure is necessary. She's probably watched her daughter grow up and realized she never had closure from it.
Yeah.
She probably blamed her mom. Who knows,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just that was one of the things on my list because I've been following the story here and there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like this happens over and over, and this whole rape thing, because I see a lot of men even come and say, she went up in his room, she knew what was going to happen, and my thing is this: people can change their minds right in the middle of it. I'm just saying, I've been there. Like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? And you go about your business, it can happen. Like, people can change their mind. I don't care how far in you think you've gone. That is, if someone says no, it's no. But people have this thing where she went up there, and there's a lot of drug use in celebrity culture and drinking and all of those things. And it's just a lot. I'm always, when these stories come up, I'm always looking like, why do we deal with rape victims or people who are allegedly rape victims? Why do we handle them with such carelessness?
Treat them like they're the criminal. A lot of instances. I don't know how much time we got left.
We have about 5 minutes.
Okay, I did want to mention real quick, and I would love for us to go in. We don't have time today, but go into the whole, all these people calling the police on us. I would love that. I don't think we have enough time.
Go for it.
I really don't.
We got 5 minutes.
But I do want to mention the Haiti scenario as well, because Haiti is going through some stuff right now, and their prime minister just resigned this past Saturday, Jack LaFontaine. They just had an uprising. The price of fuel in Haiti was looking to increase 50%. So it was already something like $4 a pint. Is it a pint or a quart? Something to that effect. Not even a gallon. So take a quart, $4 a quart. So they were looking to increase it even more. And guess who was involved? Take a good guess.
Who? Clinton?
The IMF, the International Monetary Fund. The West had to be somewhere involved in all that. And so the IMF, so basically they got a loan from the Haiti government, got a loan from the IMF some time ago. They misused the funds, a lot of corruption going on at the top and all that kind of stuff. Misfinagled the funds. Now this loan was set to be due. I mean, have to pay up on it. Haiti don't have the money to pay. So IMF suggested, well, hey, we can get our money by if y'all hike your gas prices up over there. So the president decided that he was going to do that, and the people, now they make the average people in Port-au-Prince, which is the capital of Haiti, $2 a day is the average income. $2 a day, but the price of the gas is $4 a pint. And so, the people took to the streets. They got sick of it. They stopped.
Well, and that's the thing. It's that we, like you was talking about, where Haiti is the perfect example of what we were discussing earlier, where they have to make an example out of someone.
Yeah.
It was the first black republic. Haiti's history alone,
Right.
Gosh, my heart always goes out to them because it's
Yeah.
just they're paying for
Winning that
defending
war.
themselves.
They paying for winning that war against the French. They paying for it right now to this day. It's deep. Yeah, and they were talking about how the Hillary Clinton, people may not be aware of this, as when she was Secretary of State, she was meddling in their elections, and what she did was she threatened to cancel U.S. visas, Haitian visas in the U.S. if they didn't move one of the Martello. She was, I think it's a she. She was one of the people that was running for office, but she didn't get first round pick, and they were the Americans pick. So they forced, America was able to finagle
to get
her into the runnings. And then I know she didn't win, but something along that. Basically, long story short, she was meddling around with that. And that's funny how hypocritical this nation can be, because they meddle around in all these different people's elections and over there spying on people, and soon as somebody do it to them, they all crazy. Oh my God, the Russians spying on us.
America is very hypocritical, and she's very good at deceiving. Very good.
And hide her hand.
Yeah, and then
throw a rock and hide your hand.
Yeah. I mean, like our news media, which is oftentimes propaganda.
That's it.
And they let us know what they think we should know.
Right.
What we need to know in order to be good American citizens. Pretty much. No, seriously. And sometimes what you're seeing oftentimes with other countries with America is a reaction.
Yeah.
So what
they
our
fighting
news,
back
right?
against.
Our news that we're getting is we're seeing the reaction.
No doubt.
We don't get the action that happened to cause the reaction. We get the reaction.
Yeah.
And so that again, that's to pull on our emotions. And again to instill fear. And this is why you can have America that can go and do drones and invade other countries, and Americans are cheering it on.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's like, well, we have to protect us. And it's like, it's never about you. It's about a select few of elite people, and it's not.
Right. You're used, a lot of the military force is used to protect the elite.
Yeah.
And you die to protect the elite.
At the end of the day, yeah. So Haiti, man.
Yeah, they're gonna. So they forced the president to resign. So now the whole thing now is who's going to take his place, and are they going to be?
They're going to put somebody in there
enough to be able to get the nation back on track. But they have all these bloodsuckers.
Yeah.
Bloodsuckers are the poor. That's sucking all the blood. They never really quick. They never even. I want to mention, because that the UN was charged with the cholera. When was it? Was it a what happened back then that all the people died in Haiti? Was it
cholera?
It was a hurricane, not a hurricane. It was an earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
During the earthquake. So the UN brought all these peacekeeping people in on a peacekeeping mission, and the water was tainted, and now the cholera broke out, and over 10,000 people were killed in Haiti because of that cholera outbreak. Now the UN admitted to this. They admitted their crime, but they refused to pay to this day. So they still begging the UN to give them what they just do to make do for all this crime. I mean, all this cholera outbreak that they caused, and the UN refuses to give them money.
And people like to say it's not really racism, it's classism. But when you look at classism, you always see who's at the bottom.
Right.
It's really it's connected to race, right?
No doubt.
No, absolutely.
No doubt.
So when you look at places like Flint,
no doubt,
right here on American soil, that's what just came to my mind when you talked about the unclean water in Haiti. People need to understand that the
Puerto Rico,
the dislike or the way that black people are perceived, it's a global thing.
Yes,
it's not just
here.
No.
Look at indigenous Australians.
Yes.
They over there struggling for survival.
Yeah.
And the people in China, the black people in China, there are a lot of the black people live in poverty in China. The indigenous China black people. Like you said, it's a worldwide phenomenon, but you don't get that. But we really went over
Yeah,
our
we
time.
went over, and we didn't even get to talk about the immigration
We
issue with Donald Trump. I wanted to touch on that. Yeah,
Oh, so
that's
so
okay.
much. We need to do this again real soon because I really want to get into this whole thing with all these people calling the police on us.
Yes.
I really want to talk about that.
Yes, they need to be charged. But
Yeah.
okay.
I have a theory about that. But anyway, family, that is our Empower Hour and some because we did go over time.
Yes.
Sorry for keeping you guys longer than necessary. And next week, definitely tune in with us next week because the Irritated Genie of Southeast will be right here with us.
And what are we discussing?
The whitewashing of Black America.
Okay.
What is going on? What is it going on? Why is it that every time we turn the TV on or see a newsprint or ad and something, it's always a mixed race couple? Where's all the strong Black families in the media? Why are we not seeing this? We're gonna dig into the root causes of what's really going on out here. So all right, so tune in next week. Until then, thank you and join us on Facebook under Empower Our Talk Show.
Yes.
Join us
Like
on
and share.
YouTube under Miss Frida People. We'd love to have you. All right, take care. Peace.